Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullahu khaira. May Allah have mercy on me and you. Um, and make this easy. Um, we're continuing here in Ibn Qasim's explanation of Abu Shuja, rahimahumallahu ta'ala. Let me first read the text of Abu Shuja, and then we'll read the explanation. And so he says here, وَإِذَا خَافَ نُشُوزَ الْمَرْأَةِ. And one fears the nushooz of the wife. Al-mar'ah is the wife, but the word mar'ah means woman. One's woman in this context is his wife, and her man is her husband. When one fears the nushooz of the woman, wa'adhaha, he preaches to her or lectures her. He gives her wa'adh, a preaching or a lecture. Now, as for nushooz here, I think I know how to translate it now. From the last time when I looked into the dictionary in our lesson, if you remember. And then after some time, I realized something. So what's nushooz in a literal sense? It is irtifa, raising up, rising. So then what's the nushooz of the wife? It's her uprising, the uprising of the wife. Wallahu a'lam. So when one fears the wife's uprising, wa'adhaha, he preaches to her, he lectures her. فَإِنْ أَبَتْ إِلَّا النُّشُوزِ. And if she refuses but uprising, yani, she refuses to do anything but to rebel, هَجَرَهَا, then he shuns her. We'll explain inshallah. فَإِنْ أَقَامَتْ عَلَيْهِ. And if she persists upon it, this uprising, هَجَرَهَا وَضَرَبَهَا, he shuns her and spanks her. We will explain inshallah. وَيَسْقُطُ بِالنُّشُوزِ قَسْمُهَا وَنَفَقَتُهَا. And dropped by uprising is her turn and her support. Let's check out the explanation. So the explainer says, by mixing Abu Shuja''s words into his explanation, وَإِذَا خَافَ الزَّوْجُ نُشُوزَ الْمَرْأَةِ. And when the husband fears the uprising of the wife, وَفِي بَعْضِ النُّسَخ. And according to some copies of Abu Shuja', وَإِذَا بَانَ نُشُوزُ الْمَرْأَةِ. And when the woman's uprising appears, أي ظهر وعظها زوجها, her husband preaches to her, lectures her, or perhaps we could say he talks to her. بلا ضرب ولا هجر لها, without a spanking and without shunning her. كقوله لها, like for him to say to her, اتق الله في الحق الواجب لي عليك. You fear Allah concerning the obligatory right that I have over you, yani, as her husband. Similar to how the parent has a right over the child. وَاعْلَمِي أَنَّ النُّشُوزَ مُسْقِطٌ لِلنَّفَقَةِ وَالْقَسْمِ. And here, the scholars, they continue to say? What does he say? How does he lecture her? What else does he say to her while lecturing or talking to her? Fear Allah concerning the obligatory right that I have over you, and know that uprising voids the support and the turn. So that's what he says to her. Yani, as an example. وَلَيْسَ الشَّتْمُ لِلزَّوْجِ مِنَ النُّشُوزِ. And insulting the husband, merely insulting the husband, is not uprising. And the likes of that, such as that she raises her voice at him or snaps at him, this is not uprising. Rather, this is frequent. Yani, this is expected. Once a brother asked me, he told me, I told my wife such and such, I told my daughter such and such, and they didn't listen to me. Uh, he said, what do you think? So I told him, you should expect to have to repeat yourself sometimes. Means these things, they happen. So you need to, yani, and that's amongst the regular frequent things. وَلَيْسَ الشَّتْمُ لِلزَّوْجِ مِنَ النُّشُوزِ. Insulting the husband is not uprising. بل تستحق به التأديب من الزوج في الأصح. And rather, she deserves to be, how do I translate this here? التأديب, what comes to my mind is, but maybe it doesn't sound right. She deserves to be taught manners by the husband, mina zoji. Rather, yani, this is not an uprising so that he spanks her or shuns her, etc. She deserves rather to be taught manners. Maybe there's a better way to say this. Mina zoji, from the husband, fil asah, according to what is most accurate. Or maybe that's the way to say it. Yani, sometimes man needs to put his foot down. وَلَا يَرْفَعُهَا إِلَى الْقَاضِي. And he doesn't take her to the judge for this. فَإِنْ أَبَتْ بَعْدَ الْوَعْظِ إِلَّا النُّشُوزِ. Now, if she refused after the preaching or the talking, yani, if she insisted on the uprising, هَجَرَهَا في مضجعها وهو فراشها, then he shuns her in her bed. فَلَا يُضَاجِعُهَا فِيهِ. And so he doesn't, I'm going to say here, he doesn't cuddle with her there, with the meaning of, yani, he does lay in the bed actually with her here at this stage. So then means he is not, for example, cuddling with her. وَهِجْرَانُهَا بِالْكَلَامِ حَرَامٌ فِيمَا زَادَ عَلَى 3 أيام. And shunning her by not talking to her is forbidden for more than 3 days. That's the general rule for any Muslim, though. That's not special to the wife. And that's what the explainer means by putting this here. To first give you what's the standard rule. You cannot shun the Muslim by not talking to him for more than 3 days. Meaning you have 3 days. And then someone has to give a salam at the least. At the least. And the better one is the one who starts with the salam. وَقَالَ فِي الرَّوْضَةِ. The explainer says, however, An-Nawawi said in Ar-Rawdah, إِنَّهُ فِي الْهَجْرِ بِغَيْرِ عُذْرٍ شَرْعِيٍّ. This rule is about shunning for more than 3 days without a religious excuse, without a religious legal excuse. وإلا فلا تحرم الزيادة على الثلاثة. Otherwise, meaning, if there were a religiously legal excuse, then it is not forbidden to add more than 3 days. We are talking about shunning by not speaking. However, what we learned in such a case, and this is also not special to the wife. This is also not special to the wife. This is for any Muslim. And we learned that in this case that you are shunning the person for more than 3 days for a religious excuse, you must inform the person of the reason because he might not understand. So you'd say to him, as long as you drink alcohol, I won't speak to you, for example. Then when you gave him this notice, then it's not haram for you to not talk to him for more than 3 days. فَإِنْ أَقَامَتْ عَلَيْهِ أَيْ النُّشُوزِ. Then, if she persists on it, meaning the uprising, بِتَكَرُّرِهِ مِنْهَا, by doing it repeatedly. So doing it repeatedly, that statement means not the first time. بِتَكَرُّرِهِ مِنْهَا, by her doing that repeatedly, هَجَرَهَا وَضَرَبَهَا, then he shuns her and he spanks her. And the shunning also, it has levels. So we said at first, he sleeps in the bed without cuddling with her. If at this same level here, he might reach a stage where he doesn't sleep in the bed with her. And he might do that before he decides to stop talking to her. So if she persists on her uprising by doing it repeatedly, then هجرها وضربها, he shuns her and spanks her. ضرب تأديب لها, a spanking for teaching her manners. That's my translation there. Maybe could come out better. And what did we learn is a scenario of that, like to take his toothstick, the siwak, that's like as much as a pencil, for example, and to hit her with this. So this is like nothing as far as pain. It's the meaning here that's more. All these things here that's mentioned here, yeah, dare I say, they are very strong for dealing with a woman. So doesn't talk to her, doesn't uh, lay with her. And this pencil here, this toothstick here, the meaning is way more significant than actually feeling the toothstick for her. وإن أفضى ضربها إلى التلف وجب الغرم. And if hitting her leads to loss, then it is obligatory to pay her blood money, if that's applicable. Blood money is obligatory if applicable. Like if you knocked out her tooth or something like that, which of course is haram. Big difference between using toothstick and knocking out a tooth or the likes of that. وَيَسْقُطُ بِالنُّشُوزِ قَسْمُهَا وَنَفَقَتُهَا. And voided by the uprising is her turn and her support. When does it come back? When the dawn after she repents from her uprising. Her turn and her support are reinstated at the dawn after her repenting from her uprising. because the man's daily cycle of support starts at dawn. Yani his assessment of his monetary status starts at dawn, as you know. I'll remind you. If you were a poor man at dawn, then you're obligated to support your wife for that day as a poor man. And if you are a rich man at dawn, then you're obligated to support your wife that day as a rich man. So, what if you became rich in the middle of the day? Then you wouldn't be obligated to support her like a rich man until the dawn comes in and you're still rich. So, her turn and her support will be reinstated at dawn after her repentance. Any question? Tayyib. That's the end of that section. The next section is the section on khula. Her turn applies assuming he has more than one wife. Yes. Yeah, the Arabic word is qasam. The qasam means he has more than one wife. She gets her qasam and her nafaqah reinstated at dawn after her repentance. Ameen wa iyyakum. The next section is khula. How about I'll read the text? Question. Can you explain how he would support like a rich man for that day if the amount of food she receives is a set amount? Yes. Because the rich man is obligated to provide for his wife on a daily basis. Two muds per day of the dominant staple, the dominant zakat applicable staple of the town, and with the quality of the wealthy people also. The amount is two muds, yani two, let's say bowls, two mud bowls of the dominant staple of the town at the quality of the wealthy people, along with whatever condiment he's obligated to provide for her. He needs to provide for her, yeah, from time to time, meat, vegetables, fruit. So, like this. So that day when he's wealthy, he's gonna bring home a nice dinner, inshallah ta'ala. And he'll be happy too, inshallah, to bring nice dinner home to family. You can follow up with that if you want to. Also, the clothing, it has to be the rich man. Here's the general rule: rich man provides for his wife the clothing of the rich people, the rich, good Muslims. And the lodging, he provides for her the lodging of the rich, good Muslims. The middle class man, so the rich man is the man who has enough money for the rest of his life. The middle class man, he provides for his wife a bowl and a half on a daily basis of the dominant zakat applicable staple of the town, according to the quality of the middle class people. And likewise the clothing and likewise the lodging, according to the quality of the middle class people. The poor man, he supports his wife by providing her with one bowl per day of what we mentioned, according to the quality that the poor people eat, and likewise the clothing and likewise the lodging. Question: and the food is only one time per day for all of these men, rich and poor? Correct. Question: here, uprising denotes what action exactly? Here, we mentioned it. I'll read it for you again, inshallah. Oh, I think we didn't mention it clearly. Yeah. Uh, Let me back up and repeat some things for you here. So, when the husband fears the wife's uprising, in the first place, what does that mean? He fears it. This means it's not verified yet. Then why is he afraid of it? Because he noticed something. Like she doesn't smile at him like she used to. And for example, she used to give him a nice salam when he would come home. Now she doesn't. Not like she used to. And like this. So he notices something. So now, according to our lesson, he's afraid that uh, she will uprise. So then, what does he do? وَعَظَهَا. He talks to her without spanking her, without shunning her. He doesn't shun her in talking, and he doesn't shun her in the bed. Okay. And then we said here, and insulting the husband is not uprising against him. Yeah, and then I added for you. Or if she raises her voice at him or snaps at him, this is not uprising. Rather, this is frequent. And that rather, she deserves that her husband would teach her manners. Here, Annie, maybe put his foot down and say something to her, for example. And he doesn't take her to the judge for this. And if she refuses after they talked, but uprising. So then here, the uprising now happened. What is it? It is that, thank you for the question. It is that she refuses him or she runs away from him. Runs away from him is like she leaves his house without his permission. These two. I don't know if there's something else. This is what I know. Her refusing him is for sure Nushooz. And her running away from him, that's kind of like refusing him too. But if you want, like leaving his house without his permission, notice the pronouns there. That's for sure is Nushooz. Then hajaraha fi madja'iha. Then he shuns her in her bed. In her bed. Yeah, it means he doesn't abandon the bed altogether. Rather, like I said, doesn't cuddle with her, for example. Just lays there. Maybe puts his back to her, for example. And he doesn't refrain from talking to her for more than 3 days without a religious excuse. If he had a religious excuse, he could refrain from talking to her for more than 3 days, but he must tell her what it is so that she understands. And then, if she persists on the nushuz by doing it repeatedly, then hajaraha wa darabaha, then he shuns her and he spanks her, according to what I already told you. So that's that whole section there. Inshallah, it's clear for you. Any other question? You're welcome. So yes, Falti, the food is once per day. The clothing is how often? Twice per year. An outfit for the summer, an outfit for the winter. Outfit means head to toe. With accessories. When I say accessories, like the underpiece for her scarf. So whatever she needs. Food once per day, even if she's pregnant, I haven't heard. We'll ask, inshallah. You said, and last time someone asked if when she's not due obligatory support, can he make her sleep outside of the house? Yes, yeah. Yeah, yes, he can. Yani, if it's his house, yes. Because being in the house is part of the nafaqah, part of the support. The support is what? Lodging, clothing, and food, broadly. Could say four things: lodging, clothing, food, and some miscellaneous things. Few more things that they don't have their own, each one doesn't have their own category. Some miscellaneous things. If I just want to say three things: lodging, clothing, and food. That's the nafaqah. So uprising drops the nafaqah until she repents. All right. So let's stop here. I was just about to read the text for Khula, but this is not a bad place to stop, not a bad hour to stop. And then we'll save that for next time, inshallah ta'ala. Any last question? You know, I remember many years ago, Hajj Ali said to me about giving some lessons to shorten them. Yani I used to take that lesson. I used to go over, first of all, overtime. Then he told me, actually make it shorter than an hour. So I said, Hajj. So I'll take it all the way to an hour. But now, maybe because I'm older, I can appreciate Hajj Ali's advice to me more. He had some hikmah. MashaAllah.